Hello everyone, this is Wei and I'm presenting my work for the Gemma Sprint, which is a coding event hosted by Google Devrel. My project is Gemma-NameCraft. This app helps parents to give name to their new babies. Name giving in Chinese is a very difficult task because Chinese names have different meanings with different characters, and some believe that those characters can affect one's fortune. So when new parents have their babies, they typically struggle with creating a suitable name for babies. And this project uses Gemma as well as Gemma to help parents with creating names. The Ollama project has a backend powered by Ollama for Gemma inference, Hugging Face for Gemma inference, PostgreSQL for embedding, and Infinity for vector search. The project runs on a standalone Docker Compose, and it only needs 3 CPU cores, as you can see here, and 16 gig of RAM. The GPU that's powering the app is a RTX 3050 Ti with 4 gigabytes of VRAM. This is not high-end hardware, so it should run on most laptop or desktop. So to use the Gemma-NameCraft app, I just start by asking the bot who you are and what can you do. So the bot is responding with a description of its abilities. The abilities includes getting inspiration by looking at a picture or searching the old Chinese poetries for inspiration, calculating name score based on 五行 or 八字 of Chinese culture, or just simply looking through the Chinese dictionary and see what characters fits the name best. The first feature that I want to demonstrate is drawing inspiration from pictures. So as you can see here, as soon as I click the upload button, the backend is doing model swap behind the scenes. So it's offloading Gemma and loading up the Gemma for image transcription. The model swapping behind the scene is to make sure that each model can utilize the GPU most effectively when they are inferencing, and so the user can get their response back as fast as possible. Here, I'm asking Gemma to draw name inspiration from this picture, and perhaps pick out the elements that I could use to create a name for babies. As you can see from the VRAM curve, as soon as Gemma is done with transcription, it's immediately offloading the model. Ollama is taking back those VRAM, loading up the Gemma model again, and then translating the transcription from English to Chinese. And then Gemma is following the user instruction to get some inspirations from this picture. In this case, I have identified an element that I really like, which is the moon. So in the next turn, I'm asking Gemma-NameCraft, is there any ancient Chinese poetry that is related to the moon? So I can draw more inspirations and perhaps give the name just a little bit more meaning or a little bit more style. As you can see on the right hand side, Gemma-NameCraft is getting my intent and is doing some RAG to pull up some ancient Chinese poetries that is related to the moon. And in this case, I'm not particularly satisfied with the result, so I tried a couple more times. Based on the response from Gemma-NameCraft, I have identified 2 characters from those poetry that I really like. One is Win or Feng, and the other is Ming or Bright. So the next thing I want to ask Gemma-NameCraft is there any character that goes along with these 2 characters, the Feng and Ming? And I want to have those characters to present happiness. As you can see from the log, Gemma-NameCraft is doing RAG again, this time looking for characters in dictionary that represents happiness. So from the response, I really like the character Le, which is the Chinese equivalent for happiness. And I created a name, a fictional name for a fictional baby, Wang Leming. And I asked Gemma-NameCraft what it thinks about the name. And Gemma-NameCraft is responding in a friendly way, complimenting on how the name is suitable for a newborn baby. I asked Gemma-NameCraft how it thinks about the name, and Gemma-NameCraft is responding in this friendly manner, and it's also complimenting on how the name is a good fit for the baby. The last feature I'm demonstrating is I'm using an external tool to calculate 八字 or 五行 score for the name. So it's a traditional way of evaluating how good fortune the name is, or how much positive energy it's going to give to the baby. So in this case, I'm giving Gemma-NameCraft a fictional birthday, birth time, birth location, and Gemma-NameCraft is taking all those information, forming a JSON, and then calling an external API with that JSON to get a 八字 or 五行 score, and then kind of evaluate on that. You can see that Gemma is responding in the conservative way. It's not trying to judge a name. It's not trying to respond with harmful content. So you can see that Gemma is really prioritizing the idea of safe AI. I also want to take this chance to explain how the system works behind the scene. So the Flutter UI is taking care of the user interaction and sending the request to Fast API. And then behind the Fast API, I have a re-rank model that compares the prompt against a set of null intents. And then I'm using the re-ranker to identify the intents. So if the intent is for image understanding, the payload will be directed to the Polygemma Hugging Face model. If the intent is retrieval augmented generation, the payload will be directed to the embedding service, and then vector search will be conducted in PostgreSQL with pgvector. If the intent is calling a third-party tool, this third-party tool will be directly invoked, and then everything will be redirected back to Olama where the Gemma inference is happening. And then Gemma, and then Olama is streaming the response back to Fast API, and then the end result is represented in Flutter UI. So this is pretty much everything about Gemma-NameCraft. The code is posted on GitHub. You're welcome to check that out. So that's it, and have a nice day.